Should you use broad match? I get this question a lot from potential clients, so I figured that I would address this question and share my personal experience with broad match and share my personal point of view. So if you're interested in that, please keep on watching. And if you're new here, my name is Michelle. I'm the founder of Level 28 Media, and I help service-based businesses generate leads from Google Ads. So if you're spending at least $2,000 a month and you're looking for an audit or managed services, check out the link below for a free consultation, and I'd be more than happy to chat with you. So let's go ahead and answer this. But before then, I wanted to just quickly give a definition of broad match and how it actually works. So broad match is a default keyword match type that allows your searches, your keywords to match to searches that relate to your keyword. So the key here is relate to the meaning of your keyword. So Google gets to decide whether your keyword is relating to a specific search term, which is not my favorite thing, and I'll share my deeper point of view on that. But just to share an example here, we have a broad match keyword, low carb diet. It can match to different ads, or your ads can appear for these specific search terms: carb-free foods, low-carb diets, Mediterranean diet books, how to cut carbs for beginners, carb-free meals. So notice that just because it says low-carb diet plan, it can show up for like Mediterranean diet books, which has none of those specific keywords in it. But a Mediterranean diet is low carb, so that's why Google gets to match it, because it's saying that it's matching to something with a similar related meaning of your specific keyword. So what are other potential keywords? Because the list could be very extensive here. There could be multi-million of keywords or search terms that your keywords can match to. It's not just limited to what you see here on the screen. There's other things that come to mind: diet podcast, diet PDF. It could also be like diet videos, how to diet video. So it can get very broad, and it also can match you to a lot of irrelevant searches. And that is the problem with broad match. Broad match can be dangerous, and my sentiment with broad match 5 years ago was very much against using it, but I have since changed my mind about it after doing tests on certain clients. So I will share some potential use cases for it, but where I'm trying to really drive home here is using broad match is like trusting Google to then determine the definition of your keyword and just match you to whatever it thinks is relevant for you. Now, Google is not always right, and in fact, if you were to test broad match, you're going to see a lot of potential junk come through, and you're going to need to be proactive by adding negative keywords. However, in 2023, 2024-ish, I think it was 2023 when Google had announced that with modern day broad match, now it considers 3 new things. And this is why I'm not completely hating broad match anymore. I'm definitely warming up to it, and it's taking into account the user's previous search history, the content on your landing pages, and other keywords in your ad group. So when it's saying that it's taking into account a user's previous search history, it's looking at, is the user already looking for diet plans, and let's try to serve the ad up to them, even if the keyword is not like exactly it and it's somewhat like related. Then maybe it's very relevant to them, because we've already seen that they've already shown some type of interest in a diet plan before, or they're watching videos on YouTube about diet plans and so forth. It looks at content on your landing page, so it's very important that your landing pages have really good content, and also takes into account keywords in your ad group. So keywords that are grouped together based off of themes. It's very important to make sure that your ad groups are tightly themed and that you're not just putting every single keyword in your account under one ad group, and that you're breaking it out into specific themes, that you're writing specific ads for your ad groups. So should you use broad match? The answer is it really depends. There is no one size fits all solution to this. I would just say my best advice when it comes to broad match is test and learn what works best for you. You need to have enough conversion data. So if you have conversion tracking in place, I mean, that's critical. You need to have conversion tracking in place to be able to feed Google the amount of information that it needs to make smarter decisions. So that's critical. And then it also depends on your industry, and it also depends on your offer to really determine whether broad match will work for you. I've seen it work well in some industries. I've seen it work well with certain budgets. Most of the time, and I'll actually share this on the next slide, from my personal experience, broad match needs smart bidding with quality conversion volume. So at least 30 conversions a month. That's my recommendation. It works best when you're trying to scale an account, not when you're trying to be efficient. So if you are a small budget advertiser and you don't want to increase your budget much, broad match is not the way to go. But if you are seeing great results and you want to continue to see great results with Google, and you're okay with putting in more money to test out and increasing your budget to see how far you can go before you hit that point of diminishing return, broad match is definitely something that you might want to test out. Now, this broad match works well sentiment from Google and other advertisers lately. It's coming from this point of view where, it's because it's working well on a lot of high spending accounts. High spending accounts meaning north of 10, 20,000 a month. That's where it tends to do better than if you are constricted in the less than $10,000 a month range. Because when you are more constricted, you don't want to open yourself up to all the potential possibilities. When you're restricted, you want to keep things tight. You want to see things convert, and then you also want to keep things more constricted before you potentially want to keep opening things up. But if you're more on a limited scale, I would keep it this way, unless you are okay with Google starting to color outside the lines, if you will. And with broad match, it can color outside the lines pretty openly, if you know what I mean. So that's my personal opinion. If you're going to try using broad match, here are 3 things. Number 1, you have to have a strong negatives list. You cannot neglect your search terms report. You need to have a plan in place. You need to be monitoring your search terms report almost daily, I would say, daily, weekly, whatever. But have a cadence, and then also leverage smart bidding. If you're using manual bidding with broad match, it can turn into the Wild West. So please leverage smart bidding. It could be maximize conversions, max clicks, target CPA for lead gen. My favorites tend to be maximize conversions with target CPA. But if you are on a more limited scale, I would test using exact and phrase first. See what type of results you get. And then if you want to scale and it's doing well and you want to scale beyond that from what you're getting from exact and phrase, then you could open it up to broad match. I would never start with broad match right out of the gate. It is something that I would use if I'm having trouble scaling outside of exact and phrase. And by scaling, I mean growing the account. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to answer them. And I'd also love to know what's your personal opinion on broad match. I don't completely hate it. I've seen it work really well in some accounts, but it's really just going to depend at the end of the day, especially now with the meaning of broad match changing and the fact that it takes into smarter signals. There's no reason why you want to completely dismiss it, but it might be something that you want to deprioritize if you're more on a limited budget and you know that Google is not really that smart with matching your keywords up to the most relevant search terms. So that's pretty much it for this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, and I'd be more than happy to see you in the next one. Thank you.